We're reading Bhagavad Gita introduction, page number 10, next paragraph. The supreme conscious Ishvara is similar to the living entity in this way, both the consciousness of the Lord and that of the living entity are transcendental. It is not that the consciousness is generated by the association of matter. That is a mistaken idea. The theory that consciousness develops under certain circumstances or material combination is not accepted in Bhagavad Gita. Consciousness may be pervertedly reflected by the covering of material circumstances, just as light reflected through colored glass may appear to be a certain color, but the consciousness of the Lord is not materially affected. Lord Krishna says, Maya Dakshina Prakriti. When he descends into the material universe, his consciousness is not materially affected. If he were so affected, he would be unfit to speak on transcendental matters, as he does in Bhagavad Gita. One cannot say anything about the transcendental world without being free from materially contaminated consciousness. So the Lord is not materially contaminated. Our consciousness at the present moment, however, is materially contaminated. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that we have to purify this materially contaminated consciousness. In pure consciousness, our actions will be dovetailed to the will of Ishvara, and that will make us happy. It is not that we have to cease all activities. Rather, our activities are to be purified, and purified activities are called bhakti. Activities in bhakti appear to be like ordinary activities, but they are not contaminated. An ignorant person may see that a devotee is acting or working like an ordinary man, but such a person with a full fund of knowledge does not know that the activities of a devotee or the Lord are not contaminated, but by impure consciousness or matter. They are transcendental to the three modes of nature. We should know, however, that at this point, our consciousness is contaminated. ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा शिव श्री गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम् हरे कृष्णा Yesterday they were discussing about Ishvara and his connection, his desired connection with the jiva. Now, why I said his desired connection is because it is his own free will, his own wish and will to have that connection or to not have connection. Just like Lord has created the external energy, which is a separated energy of the Lord. It's not part and parcel. It's important. Only jiva is part and parcel, not the prakriti. Prakriti is eternal, but it is not part and parcel of the Lord. It is a separated energy because the intent of Prakriti is also different. The intent of Prakriti is to actually correct, because she's been kept for that position, for that intention. So currently we are in that Prakriti. We are in the reformatory place. So this reformatory place it is not just a reformatory place, but it is also a platform to elevate or to understand or to know what Krishna consciousness is. That means the separated energy can be used to slowly uplift our consciousness and then move forward. Now, when the jiva is always connected to the Lord, why is the jiva afflicted so much? Now, let me ask a question. Vishwara, jiva, prakriti, kala, they are eternal. Why is karma not eternal? Karma can also be eternal. Why is karma not eternal? Who wants to say? It's an interesting question. Why is karma not eternal? Just like jiva and prakriti. Actually, prakriti is also a separated energy, but but the material nature is eternal. Time is also eternal. Why not karma? Who would like to answer that? It's an interesting question. Yes, Madhu, please tell. Why is that karma not eternal?
Yeah, I'll just try that because karma changes each life of every life. Like when jiva
Okay.
goes from one life to another life, the karma changes. And if a devotee do the practice of Krishna consciousness, and it's Krishna also took away some karmas, the baggage of karma. So that's why it's not eternal. It changes all the time with
The time is also changing. Prakriti is also not like that. Prakriti also changes. But they are eternal. This karma is not eternal. Think more. Who wants to add more? We can think. Yes, Prabhu, Madhva Krishna Prabhu, please tell.
Just trying, Prabhuji. So
Yes, please tell, please
karma
tell.
is in our control, whether you do good or bad. But rest of the other things are not in our control, Prabhu.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else? Yes. Chapanam, Sushil.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, uh, to my remembrance, karma applies only to certain jivas, not all the jivas.
Okay.
So it's in the hands of those jivas whether
So
to
what do you mean those only certain jivas? What kind of jivas are there?
like human beings.
Okay. Okay. So karma is not applied to animals?
No,
Okay. Okay.
because
Okay.
they follow according to their dharma. They don't have.
Okay. Even if animals do not go through karma, uh, it can still be eternal.
Okay.
The question is, why is karma not eternal? But your point is valid. Bhaswati Mataji's point is also valid. Karma can be changed. But why karma is not eternal? Anyone would like to try?
Hare
Yes.
Krishna
Madam
Prabhuji.
Mataji, please tell. Yes.
Dandvat Pranam.
Hare
Um,
Krishna.
I think just because the way I think of it is like you said, when we um, surrender to our acharyas and we walk on the path of bhakti, um, when we surrender to Krishna and to the holy name, then our karmas are erased. And if something is erased, then it cannot be eternal. Is how.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you. Anyone else?
Hare
Why
Krishna.
karma is not eternal? Yes, Subal Prabhu, please tell.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, wonderful answers. Prabhuji, yeah, as Mataji once mentioned, Like we can change our karma. In fact, I heard Srila Prabhupada saying that when you chant and clap your hands, all your karma can be taken away. In one lifetime, hundreds of lifetimes, it can be taken away. So, only by Krishna's mercy, all that can be taken away and we can go back to Godhead in this very lifetime.
It's an interesting point which Dara Mataji brought up. If we surrender to the words of the Acharyas and then submit to them and then follow the instructions, then the karma is taken away. If the karma is taken away, something which is gone, it cannot be eternal. But another add on to that, let's say the person who has surrendered is not in that state of surrender, is again doing another activities, another karmic activities based on his previous habits. That means he's again falling into that prey. Through that understanding, we can still kind of come to an understanding that this also looks eternal. Is it not? Please try to think. I'll elaborate this more. For example, the sadhaka comes to the state of surrender and then fully submitting. But after that, that doesn't mean that his consciousness will always be like that. He can still move forward and then do karmic reactions again. And to the point of Mother Krishna Prabhu, none of the other things are our hands. Prakriti is not in our hand. Time is not in our hand. Ishvara, it's too far to even understand. It's only by the mercy of Acharya we could at least know what he is. But we cannot control him. The jiva, we don't even see that jiva. It is a powerful spirit soul sitting in the heart. None of those things are in our control, which is we are the jiva only. But we cannot control that. But only karma can be controlled. It looks like karma can be controlled unto the point which we are discussing since few days, that if a person submits himself, his karmic reactions is diminished. But the person will always not remember in that state of consciousness. He's again doing another actions and activities. When a person continues doing another activity, for example, I'll give an example. Exactly this example is used by Parikshit Maharaj in the conversation with Sukadeva Goswami. Please listen this. It's very important. Sukadeva Goswami gives this example. What is that example is? Very interesting. Let's say there is a forest fire. Then all trees are burnt off. Externally, the trunks, the leaves, the branches, they're all burnt off. But the root, which is there internally, that is not burnt off. So naturally, what happens? After some times, the root will fructify again. It will get the energy because the energy is there inside. The life is there inside. Externally, it looks that everything is dissipated, everything is removed. But internally, the root is still functioning. That means after a certain amount of time, again the plant will come. Again, the plant will transform into a tree. And it will have multiple leaves, multiple branches. Everything is back to normal. So exactly, this is the answer to that question which Parikshit Maharaj was asking. How come will the jiva ever come out of this materialistic, this cycle of birth and death? It looks like it's not. Even though he's actually bonded to an inferior energy, which is Prakriti. It's not superior energy because it is separate energy. Please understand. Separated energy is something which is far. Actually, you are all close to the Lord. You are all part and parcel of the Lord. We are all part and parcel of the Lord. We are not separated energy. Separated energy means something which is far, which is like far distance. You're the family member. But that family member, what happened today is taking the association of separated energy, and then what is happening is he is losing his natural identity. Jiva is losing the natural identity. That is why karma, now we'll come to the point. The point is what? The root which is there, the root is what? For us, what is the root? The root is our desires, our consciousness. Yes, we say that soul is eternal, Satchit Ananda, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. But this Satchit Ananda is actually driving through consciousness. So the root is our consciousness. The desires are driven through this consciousness. To the point of Subal Prabhu, what Prabhupada says is, yes, when one chants in front of the Lord, all his karmic reactions is dissipated. But again, he goes out, again he does karmic reactions. Then again he comes, again he chants, again he goes out, again he comes, again he chants. It looks like an eternity. When this break has to come, somebody has to put the break. Example, through the forest fire, entire forest was burnt off, but again it will come. Because the life is not gone, it is there, the life is still there. So what is the answer? Looks like eternal only, but it is not eternal. Why it is not eternal is exactly when we really submit and we really surrender to our acharyas, to our spiritual master, and then follow their guidelines, follow their instructions as is, get well trained, and then follow that process diligently, sincerely to the core of the heart. Then what happens, dear devotees? The desire which is there in the heart, that is removed. Desire which is there in the heart is removed. What is the desire which is removed? What kind of desire? It's like material desires. Please understand. When the material desires are removed, then the surrender continues. It is not slackened. For that devotee, karma is not eternal. Please understand. But for the rest, karma is eternal. Prabhupada says is actually. Prabhupada says karma is the only thing which can be controlled. How? This is how karma can be controlled. That means the root which is there, dear devotees, the root represents here the material desires. That means even that root has to be uprooted. Please try to understand. Until the root is uprooted, one cannot become free from karmic reactions. I remember spiritual master telling very initial days, he told us that our training should be in such a way, that is what Srila Prabhupada hankered us. That is what Srila Prabhupada aspired. That is the whole point why he wrote all these books. Why he gave pure devotee association. This is the whole point. Why? Because he meant us to not just practice, but he meant us to correct our mentality from the heart itself. That means, for example, I'll tell something. I'll take a practical example. For example, if a person wants to do some sense gratification, now that's a desire. Or there's something it came in the mind, right? Why mind is showing the sense gratificatory desires? Because through that sense gratification in the previous time, that's a habit. In the previous time, it gave some happiness. Yes, definitely, there is some happiness in sense gratification. Who doesn't say there is happiness? There is little happiness. The plane is different, but there is some happiness. Now, when he begins thinking about that sense gratificatory desire, Dhyayata Vishapamsa Sangaseshu. Where is he thinking? Is he thinking, telling everyone that I have a desire of sense gratification? No, he is doing everything in the consciousness. And then what is he doing? He is fanning that desire. That fanning of the desire is actually the watering of the root, which has to be avoided, because that root, that sampling is not Bhakti Lata. That sampling is the weed, which is sitting right next to that Bhakti Lata beach. So when he begins thinking about that, what happens? He will put it in action. That means what happens? What is happening is, yesterday he surrendered. Today this thought came. And then what is he doing through that thought? He's actually coming into that understanding. And then what is he doing? He's actually manifesting. Through that manifestation, externally an action will happen. What is happening? The karmic reaction is continuing. The karmic reaction is not broken. For that to remove, what should happen is the root has to be. That means the core has to be removed. When that core is removed, then what happens? Then that karmic chain is stopped. That means this karmic chain is continuous. This karmic chain cannot be told that, oh no, this is the time. No, after this there's no more reactions. No. Up until we go back to the spiritual world, the chains will continue. That means the sadhaka has to become so pure. Because when the sadhaka becomes pure, what happens? His desire to enjoy or his desire to do something in this world is diminished. Why? Because he has established a deep relationship with the words of the Acharyas, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So through their relationship, through their mercy, then we will not get a desire also to actually commit that sinful activity. The thought will also be removed. That means just understand, at the thought level only you are cutting it off. That means you are not watering that weed. You are avoiding. You're simply avoiding. So when you avoid, what happens? Do you know what is? A mere avoidance also will not help. One should avoid this and then one should take up something else. What is that something else? Krishna consciousness. He should avoid this, he should take that. Simultaneously, both should happen. That means the watering of the root also has to happen. That Bhaktilata beach has to be watered. Because what are you doing? You're not doing any unnecessary karmic act, an unnecessary action, but you're doing an action in Krishna consciousness. This is a state of Karma Yoga. Through the Karma Yoga, what is happening? You're actually putting an action. But that action is to please the Lord. Further, there is no. That action is not just an action, it also removes unwanted weeds which are there. It is an action. But that action is also helping us to remove the unnecessary things in our life. That's so when the sadhaka develops that consciousness slowly, and when he becomes pure, for that person, karmic reaction is not eternal. For the others, karmic reaction is eternal. Why? Because he is always here only. It is an illusory state, but it is eternal for him. That means unless and until he comes to that association, unless and until he takes that association to the core of the heart, cannot come out of that karmic reaction. Because why the karmic reaction cannot become, why one cannot come out of this karmic reaction is because of his habits. So much habituated to that continuously. That's why when I think about this, I think what our acharyas are giving is amazing. We have no idea actually, we have no clue. We have no clue what they are helping us. Now we understand why he slept only 2 hours. Because this is emergency. Because Prabhupada didn't know how many days he will live. Because he was already in the fag end of his life. And then he was doing his best to give the best. 24 hours is working for the pleasure of the Lord, pleasing the spiritual master. Why? Because he wanted to establish this. That's why when he was leaving his body also he conveys this. Please come to goodness. That's what he writes here. These activities can be changed when the living being is in the mode of goodness, in sanity, and understand what sort of activities he should adopt. If he does so, then all the actions and reactions of his past activities can be changed. That means for that he should come to another state. That means at every moment what he is doing, he should think, is it okay? Am I doing it correctly? Is this helping is this pleasing the acharyas? He's not worried of karmic reactions. He's worried of pleasing them. When that thought is there, karmic reaction is secondary, dear devotees, I tell you. Karmic reaction is not primary for us. Karmic reactions become secondary. You know when the karmic reaction will become secondary? Then we really take them to the core of our heart. That's what Krishna did, na? When Sudama came, Krishna was not asking, "Oh Sudama, after so many years, why are you coming? Where were you all these years?" No, where were you all these years was being asked. But he's not asking, "Oh, why you did not come to me all these years?" And then even Sudama, when he was a child, when he was with the Lord, Lord was asking, "Did you brought anything?" He said, "No, no," because he was hungry. Will you really give it to me? No, 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 I do not have anything. But he was eating. No, Krishna is not telling, "Oh, Sudama, on that day, so after so many years before, this is what you did. You did not give me anything." No. What is he doing? He's extending himself. What is this indication here? What is? This is the heart of the Lord. This is the heart of our Acharya. That means what do they do? They continuously extend themselves. Now, why do they extend themselves? Because they really want us to come out of this pathetic condition of this materialistic existence. This materialistic existence is a pathetic condition actually. It doesn't give any happiness, doesn't give any solace. People are trying to get happiness, but there is no happiness here. Through that happiness, they're trying to do they do so many karmic reactions. Through that karmic reaction, they're actually binding. They're going more deep, they're not coming out. Because it's a karmic reaction. Huh? It's a chain. They're doing more karmic reactions. It's a vicious cycle. That's why Shankaracharya says, Punarapi Janaram, Punarapi Maranam, Jatare Sairam. That means it's this Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janaram, it's a continuous cycle. Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, continuous cycle. Why? Because of that reactions. Yes, animals do not have any karmic reactions, but it's a degraded life. We don't know actually after going into animalistic life when we will get the human form of life again. Because exactly out of our karmic reactions only we get animalistic bodies. Because we did sinful activities now. That's why we go into animalistic lives. Animalistic lives, that means you did an action, person did an action, he get a reaction. For that reaction, he has to take an animalistic body, for example. And then through that animalistic body, he will lead his life. And then after that, once the karmic reactions are complete, then he again gets the human form of life. Then immediately if he gets an association, and then through that association, he corrects his consciousness, he corrects his mentality. Mentality in the sense, he should correct our thoughts also. We should correct our conscious. That's what Srila Prabhupada is telling, right? That's what we discussed. That's what we read here, right? Where Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about the importance of consciousness continuously. The consciousness has to be purified. Consciousness has to be purified. Because if the consciousness is not purified, the actions will not be purified. That means one cannot stop that action unless until the consciousness is purified. Tesam evanukampartam aham ajnana jamtapa. Nashayam atma bhavasya jnana deepena bhaswataha. Simply by rendering transcendental service to the Lord, what happens is Jnana Deepena Bhaswata, they give the transcendental remembrance, transcendental knowledge, realized knowledge. Through that realized knowledge, what happens? Again, the depth of accepting the process of Krishna consciousness is increased. Through that acceptance, what happens? We will not commit any sinful activities. Haridas Thakur Maharaj, he was being hit in 22 marketplaces. He knows that it's a suffering. That person is telling, if you stop chanting Hare Krishna, If you stop practicing Krishna consciousness, I will leave you. You're just a Muslim, you should leave that. Why? Why are you running behind Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare? Why are you preaching Krishna consciousness? Why are you practicing Krishna consciousness? You're a Muslim. You should practice. You should say Allah Akbar. You should not say that. But Haridas Thakur Maharaj, he knows what is important. No, he continued. He knows that this is not he. No, he's getting pain. He's accepting. Why? No, he could have just ignored it and then he could have said, yes, 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 I will not practice this. He did not do that. He accepted to the core of his heart. No matter what situation comes, I will not leave that. Externally, it looks like, oh, he's like stubborn. No, he's not stubborn. It's out of love, he doesn't want to do anything else. We don't see the other side. We see that, why is he could have just left that. But no. Externally, Prabhupada also, oh, why Prabhupada struggled for 40, 50, he could have left it, right? But no. Out of love, out of devotion to his spiritual mercy, he cannot leave that. He cannot leave that service. Because that is his life and soul. That meditation only brought up this organization called ISKCON. No, he did not open this organization because he want to open. Out of unavoidable circumstances, he had to open this. Because he had no other option because nobody was helping him. He was asking his God brothers, you please come and preach Krishna consciousness here in the West. There's a great scope. There is nobody coming. There's no one, but Prabhupada understands there is a great scope. At that time, started writing letters. You see, there is a great scope here. At that time, nobody was there actually. But still, see his conviction. As 70-year-old man, 50 years or 50 years, 45 years, no manifestation, nothing manifested. But still see the hope. He's writing letter after letter. He wrote letters to Prime Minister. He wrote letters to all the libraries in the country to send his magazines. He did so much there, devotees. Nothing was working out, but still see the attitude. What is that? What is that? This is not a clear indication that they're focused, they have nothing in their life. Their life is this, meant for this only. For those kind of personalities, there's no karmic reactions. Because continuously, what is their state of consciousness? How do I please them? How do I please them? How do I please them? I said only one thing 3 times. But that is everything actually. Through that only, remembrance comes through that only. Forgetfulness, if Krishna wants to forget, he will forget. If Krishna thinks that this thing has to be forgotten, he will remove that. If Krishna thinks that this thing has to come, he will include that. Because what are they doing? They are just waiting there and then requesting that mercy. Whatever that mercy is coming, they are just accepting it. If somebody gives $1, they accept it. If somebody gives $1,000, they accept it. They use $1, $1,000 both for the service of the Lord. Whatever it is, they're just accepting. That is the state of consciousness. They're depending on the Lord. If the Lord desires, He will send. If the Lord thinks this has to be done, He will send. They're not worried. Hare Krishna. But when this dependency is not there, we have to remember, I have to remember so much. Because we are not depending on them. The remembrance should... Krishna is telling, Jnana Deepena Bhasvata. Krishna is telling, I will give you that intelligence. Simple. These 4 verses are epitome. When in the first shloka, Chatur Shloka Bhagavad Gita, the first shloka, Krishna says, Krishna is convincing that he is the source of everything. Ham sarvasva pravata matta sarvam pravartate. And in the next shloka, Machita Madgada Purana Bodhayanta Paraswaram, Kadenta Samam Nityam, Tushyanti Charamanti. Remember recently our spiritual master he told that our community is based on this. Machita Madgada Prana, Bodhayanta Paraswaram. Now, whoever you touch, they discuss Krishna Katha only. I've never seen a devotee in the community finding faults with other devotee or telling ill about the other devotee to me. I have never seen a person like that. Why they don't speak like that? Because they know this is not the business here. The business here is what? To elevate our consciousness, finish our business, come back to God. Or come back again and then serve the acharyas, serve the spiritual master. That is the only thing. There is nothing else actually. That is the purity which we need to cultivate. If this purity is there, I'll tell you, desires will not come, material desires will not come. And you'll remember everything. You don't have to put in effort, put in endeavor. And to the point which Bhaswati Mata said yesterday, that is also a valid point. Yes. Up until that point of time, we should remember. That is also correct. I'm not putting that down. Yes, that is correct. So one Vaishnava told, yes, that is also valid. We should accept that. That means remembrance is. So until that state of consciousness is established, we should remember. We should try to remember. I was actually asking, this happened few years back. I was asking one of the senior Vaishnava, we are hearing every day, every day, every day. When will this manifest? He says, time will come, time will come. Hold on. Here, attend to, and then share, here and share, here and share. Time will come, time will come, time will come. See, the Lord, whatever we did, it doesn't go anywhere, dear devotees. I'll tell you, every day when you hear, it doesn't go anywhere. It will stay with you. All we need to do is we need to hear very attentively. Actually, the time when we are hearing, this time is actually extension in your life. Remember my spiritual master telling this. If a sadhaka hears attentively, the time which is sitting in Bhagavatam, that is extra time in his life. It's not. It was extra time. For example, you're supposed to live 70 years. And you heard Bhagavatam for 10 years. That means you live for 80 years. Correct. That means if a person has to die, Yamadutas are coming. If a person is in the Bhagavatam, is hearing, discussing, that Yamadutas has to stay out. Cannot enter. Now they can enter, but they cannot touch the person. They can hear Bhagavatam. That's a fact, dear devotees. I'm not just telling like that. It is a fact. So this state of consciousness, one should establish. When that state comes, then Machita Madgada Prana will happen. Tesam Satato Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenam Upayantite. Who is giving that Buddhi? Again, Krishna. To that Buddhi, what is happening? Remembrance. Is it not beautiful? It's beautiful actually. See, when we remember those things, forget about these karmic reactions. It's all gone case. They will not come. They will not enter into your heart. Because you're dealing with what? You're dealing with the Lord. You're dealing with the acharyas. You're dealing with their words. You're actually walking those words. You're actually leading your life as per those words. So when you do that, what happens? Do you have any karmic reactions after that? No, you don't. Then for you, it will not be eternal. Just like Srila Prabhupada mentioned. If he does so, then all the actions and reactions of his past activities can be changed. That means it is not permanent. That's how karmic reactions is not eternal. This is only for sincere sadhakas who are actually practicing. Sincere devotee. You should be very sincere. You should not find faults with others. Advaisha sarabhutanam maitra karanayacha. He should be neutral. He should be free from dualities. He should accept matra sparsa sukha sita ustra sukha dukha. Accept everything. He should be free from duality. All those qualities which is described in 12th chapter at the end, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th shlokas up until 20. And then after that in 14th chapter, 27 through 31 shlokas, where the Lord is actually telling the qualities of the law of a person who's actually free from these modes of material nature. What are all these things? These are the things which are in the transcendental state. Now, when the sadhaka reaches that, which is half of our acharyas. See, dear devotees, what is Krishna glorifying? Is who is he glorifying? He is glorifying his pure devotees. What is he doing? He's glorifying his pure devotees. The moment I heard that, I'm remembering Srila Prabhupada, I'm remembering my spiritual master. Because that is their heart. That means Krishna knows their heart. Krishna is just repeating the words. Because that's how deep the relationship with the Lord and his devotees. And the Arjuna is actually relishing hearing that. And whoever has the same state of consciousness of Arjuna, which Srila Prabhupada tells us in introduction, in previous he told us, right? We need to simply accept Bhagavad Gita, teachings of Bhagavad Gita just like Arjuna accepted. So when we come to that state, what happens? We will also get that consciousness. Then the desire which is there, which the root which is there, the root also you'll go and uproot that. That means no more sinful reactions after that. Not even sinful reactions. What is happening? The moment you uproot that, the materialistic desires completely from the heart, from the consciousness, then what happens? You continue practicing Krishna consciousness, then all the previous reactions are wiped off. Then you will be in the Brahmabhuta state. This is a process, dear. What? It's a beautiful process. Hare Krishna. Baswati Mataji, looks like you had a question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji, you have very nicely explained. I just so from the discussion, what we understood is that Prabhuji, that akarma is eternal. When we'll do the action for Krishna without any material reaction, that will carry. Prabhuji, correct?
Correct. What you said is right, because in the spiritual world, that is what they do. They just
Yeah.
work for the Lord.
Yeah,
Correct.
Prabhupada also in his one of his lecture in Karma Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, he said that two things are eternal. One is our soul, and another one is our works. For Krishna.
Correct.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you
thank
for sharing that. Yes, yes, that is absolute. That is right. Because Jiva is eternal. That means his action is also eternal. So what kind of action he has to do? That what is you all we are trying to do is we are trying to transform our consciousness. If we try to do that to the best of our ability, then we will not fall into this chain. But the problem is the moment we associate with our habits, those things come again. So continuously, constantly, we should have this state that I should not associate with that. For example, butter and fire, when they come together, there's a natural butter will burn, butter will melt, right? Because it is in associate with fire. So what do? We keep the butter far away. We don't want to bring butter to the fire. That's what our acharyas are telling. Why? If we know the quality, if we know the nature of that, if we know that mentality, that if butter comes closer to fire, it will melt. So what we have to do? We have to put ourselves as much away from any kind of sense gratificatory work or any kind of sense gratificatory desires. Because we know previously we did that. It can be anything. It can be through our eating habits, it can be through using our body for happiness, it can be anything. Because the moment that comes closer, all the thoughts which were there in the previous thing, because the mind is very fast to deal devotees. It is so expert. It will show us all the things which gave us happiness before through that association. and then immediately we go and then take that association, we are bounded to that. No, animal cannot do this. That is why in animal life there is no karmic reactions. Because for animal there is no intelligence. It just does eating, sleeping, mating, defending. It doesn't have a difference between sister or brother. It can have anything with anyone. It can do anything with anyone. There's no mother, there's no father, there's no sister, there's nothing like that. Because it is just an animal. All it does is eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But for humans, a higher intelligence is given. That is why karmic reactions are there for human beings only, because he can differentiate. Should I take it or not? Should I accept this or not? So for everyone, we have tests. Right after this class, I might get a test, or you might get a test. We will go through the tests. We will learn through the test and then come forward. And then again discuss tomorrow, again learn through that, and then again come forward. This is how practically we'll come out of it. Dear devotees, I remember Srila Prabhupada writing in Perfect Path to Perfection book. He writes there, Krishna consciousness is not that kind of a process where you give $50, I'll give some mantra, and then you chant that mantra, you'll go back to Godhead. It's not that kind of a process. Krishna consciousness is a process of evolution, process of training, process of transforming our heart, process of changing our consciousness. It's a process. It's not a thing, or it's not an action. It's a process. Now, whoever takes the process sincerely, in this very lifetime, they'll go back to Godhead. Whoever did not take the process seriously, but they have taken some process, Krishna will give another opportunity. Nyaha Vikramana associate Pratyavana Vidita. Swalpam, because he will not forget. We might forget. Remembrance, he remembers that. So and so time, this devotee has done so much service. So let me give him another opportunity. So that Krishna Prem is not yet invoked in his heart. I'll give another chance, so that through that chance he will invoke that Krishna Prem and then come back to me. So through that, Lord will give another human birth. Array in our society also, one proper disciple, he was a brahmachari. He was attracted to a woman. He became a woman. Next life, he remembered that he was a woman. And then he took initiation from Bhakti Swami Maharaj. Next life, he was a woman. Well, he's still there. She is practicing. She remembers that he was a brahmachari in his previous life. It's possible, not just birth marriage. Here also, now only. Now only. Another senior Vaishnava is telling me recently. It's very interesting. I'll tell this and conclude. Oh, yes. Yes, devotees very nicely practicing. He told one Mataji, she practiced 4 years. She had a desire to serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada. She said, I want to come. And then he's telling, I know where she is born now. Because the nature, they know the nature and the Swabhava. Through that nature and Swabhava, they can figure it out who that person is. The practical science. It's not like they have some uh, vibhuti, they give some vibhuti and then they open Shivalinga from the mouth and then you'll be advanced by seeing that. So not all the Krishna consciousness is not like that. Is not like that. It's a very practical sense. Now he's telling us that Mataji came back again. It's possible, great God. It means Neha Vikrama Krishna didn't say just like that. It's there, it's happening. It's there happening. It's very important. So we should use our time to the best of our ability. Move forward. This money, this thing, that thing will not help us. Nothing will help us here. Only this will help us. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone would like to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna. I hope you are not driving.
I'm not Prabhu. Nishita is
Okay,
driving. I'm just
yes. Okay.
assisting.
Good,
Jasit
good.
Prabhu has last exam today, uh, and midterm exams. Uh,
Yes.
so Prabhu, thank you so very much, Prabhuji, on the topic of karma and whether karma is eternal or can be changed. Uh, modes, modes are very, very powerful, Prabhu. Very, very powerful. Well, if we, it depends on how much sheltered, how much am I surrendered to the words of the spiritual master, that which is the only way to get out of the modes or the reactions to the modes will be there, but
Correct.
how much I'm surrendered, that's so. Otherwise uh, prakriti, uh, Mahadevi is very powerful. Though we know that these are the modes on how the other person is behaving, on how my mode is, but then also at that moment, uh, it's we can get out only through shelter, bro. That's for sure.
That is only.
Yeah, that observation also we can see. Like Krishna reminds on what the spiritual master is saying at that moment on how to not to react, only respond. But
That is what remembrance is.
yeah,
That is
yes,
what. That is what a remembrance is.
yes, bro.
Remembrance, Lord will give that remembrance. He will give everything. चक्षुदान जिनोजे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो. They will give that divya gyan hridaya prakash. They will give the transcendental knowledge in the heart. See how much I can remember, how much we can do. We cannot do. So when we come to that state, then what happens? We submit ourselves. This is the state of Sharanagati. Anukulena Sankalpa, Pratikula Savarjana. So when we do that, we are dependent on them. Prahlad Maharaj, he was not he was not meditating on which sloka I should remember now. He was just depending. That is his heart. He was a simple boy. Dhruva Maharaj was just depending. He was not thinking, oh, which deer will come now. There might be a tiger. It might eat me up. He was not thinking on that. He's just depending. So the dependency will help give us that remembrance. Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashita. For that, what we need is Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittata Korya. Arana Korya Mani Asha. Should hear very attentively, very sincerely, and follow their words to the core of the heart. When person does Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittata Korya, for them, then he says, for them, Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashita. The relationship is very powerful. Now, when that happens, you'll be amazed to see how this Krishna consciousness is a beautiful process. It's very interesting. We don't discuss this, we don't discuss this thing tomorrow again. So this is the mercy of the Lord. This is the mercy of the spiritual master. Because it is their mercy. That's why if you see Srila Prabhupada's entire book, you don't see any repetition actually. This is a beauty. This is what the Acharyas are. Actually, Prabhupada says that I could have written more. But due to lack of time, I wrote short. It's true because he could write all his life. Still, it is less. Just like Balramji is glorifying the Lord with unlimited heads. He still says that there's no, I can't glorify the Lord. He's glorifying unlimited heads with unlimited time. He says, oh, there's more to glorify. Cannot glorify the Lord. That means just understand when something is eternal, it should be something special. Please understand, you all have an eternal relationship with the Lord. Not just the Lord, His pure souls in the spiritual world. Because you will be actually intimately serving those pure souls in the spiritual world. Through that service, you will see the presence of the Lord. That means when you associate with those personalities intimately in the spiritual world continuously, that means what is that? That means for those kind of personalities, what don't they do they forget the Lord? That means when they are doing something eternally, do they forget them? They don't forget them, which is something profound actually. For those personalities, just like the the Brijavasis are telling to Brahmaji here, why you kept this eyes to blink? I shouldn't blink these eyes. This is a defect. Because if I blink the eyes, I am not seeing the presence of the Lord. Brahmaji, please remove that so that we can continuously see Him. Krishna was not present 100 years or 110, 115 years in Vrindavan physically. But do you think that they are not there with Krishna? Actually, they are more intimately connected with the Lord when the Lord is not present there. This is deep remembrance. Remembrance in separation. Beautiful. The signs of Krishna consciousness. The more we feel the presence of the acharyas in our heart, the more we'll observe, the more we'll understand. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Thank you all very much. If I caused any inconvenience, please excuse me. Mishalash Prabhu, please take over your call. Hare Krishna.
Hey, Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for reiterating very important aspects about karma and how we can get out of this cycle of life and death full of karma. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So today we will continue with